This is the new American media.
All right, we're back with NBA scout Zak Baris. Zak, I was starting to do that segue into the fact that, on opening night, the Cavs took down the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, that was a huge win. The Nets had spent so much money, but here we are. The Nets are 3-8. 3-8.
It just looks like they haven't clicked yet.
Okay.
I mean, they might. This is one of the things we talked about too. Is spreading the ball around. It's one of those things that we discussed earlier in the offseason, saying some teams don't necessarily mesh when they have five guys that always want the ball, and that's what we've seen so far with the Nets.
Is it coaching, or it's just what is the deal there then?
What did I win? God.
Zak's in the middle of a moment, so I'm just gonna ramble for a second, give him a chance to deal with whoever's yelling at him about winning something, because the Brooklyn Nets haven't been winning much at all. I was really excited to see what the Nets were going to be able to do with all of their offseason signings, and here they are.
It's LA radio, man.
Here they are, 3-8. It was like when the season started, thought the Cavs were going to have a fantastic season. Wow, look at this! They took down the Nets. What a great way to start the year. Maybe not so much. Yeah, that's fine. The Nets are sitting there at 3-8. Obviously in the Eastern Conference. Indiana. Indiana 10-1, Miami 9-3. The cream of the crop right now. Chicago sitting there at number 3, 6-4. Not too bad. Over in the West, the Spurs and the Blazers 10-1, 10-2. OKC 8-3. We
1 second, Brian.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Take your time, Zak. We'll deal with this. Live radio is fun. Let's look at the Western Conference. You got the Spurs. I'm a little surprised at the Blazers being number 2 there at 10-2. Kind of surprised with the Blazers. OKC, obviously, we knew they were going to be strong. Golden State, a lot of young talent. We knew they'd be strong. Dallas.
I'm back.
Yeah, okay. Welcome back. I was just going through the NBA. That was what was that? That was Mom coming in asking if you had any sloppy joes for dinner.
My mom. We were at this jewelry at Allison's Jewelers in Cleveland, and my mom entered me, and I won a pair of a couple $1,000 earrings. So it was like. So I had to go in there and collect it for my mom.
Hey, good work. Hey, look, we're good luck. You can send me one of those. I'll take the left earring, please.
I guess I want them for my birthday today.
You know what? Once again, happy birthday, Zak. No, and I will say this. We have a couple of regular listeners that love commenting on all of the shows that we put up. I don't know how often you click on the YouTube links when we post them after the fact, but
I clicked on them. I clicked on when I have the time. I've been traveling a lot over the past couple weeks.
Oh, of course. No, we got UFC is MMA from last year. Actually, he's probably been around for 2 years. He always logs in, listens to the entire show, and leaves about 20 comments. I love it. He is an absolute basketball junkie. We love having him a part of it, and we're starting to get a lot more comments as well. So we're building our fan base. So we all want to wish you a happy birthday, Zak.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I apologize for interrupting the show.
No, it's fine. The live radio is a blast. Like I said, we switched our shows around. I'm thinking this is agree to disagree instead of the unhappy hour. What do I know at this point either? So we were talking about the Brooklyn Nets. You said a lot of people are asking for the ball. They just haven't meshed yet.
I mean, I haven't watched a ton of the Brooklyn Nets, so, I mean, but from what I've seen so far, that's what it seems to be. Garnett's unhappy when he scores 6 points, I've noticed. And, I got a good buddy that works for the Nets. When I have time to talk to him, I'll talk, and, we'll be able to talk about, I'll probably talk to him this week sometime when catching up. Over Thanksgiving, I'll have a chance to see him. And, going back over some of the things, it's like the Knicks. I ripped the Bargnani move when the Knicks made it. I still remember that. I'm not a Bargnani fan. I thought it could be a horrible fit for the Knicks. The Knicks just don't seem to have anything. It's looking less and less by the day that Carmelo's going to re-sign as a Knick. They're not even close to a title.
How could he? It's been a horrible experiment.
It hasn't worked. They haven't surrounded him with talent. And, another thing is, though, is what Carmelo needs to realize, and I don't think he'll ever realize this, he's not a number one player.
Right. He's a
Carmelo's
scorer.
Good enough to get you into a 4 or 5 seed in the playoffs and get you into the first round and usually always lose in the first round. Always.
He's a great scorer. He's not the all-around player.
Last year, did they make it out of the first round?
Well,
no, I'm being serious. I don't think he's ever. I think maybe 1 year in his career they've made it out of the first round, and that's what you get Carmelo. You're getting a Sean Kemp. I'm not saying he's Sean Kemp because he's not, But I'm saying you're getting that type of player that's good enough as a player to get you to the playoffs every year.
Wait, how many children does Carmelo have? Let's see if he matches up with Sean Kemp.
I don't know. Sean Kemp's got like 10 with 10.
10 with 10.
But I'm just saying, though, Carmelo's on the line. He's nothing like the player Sean Kemp was. But I'm saying on the fact that he's one of those players, like, just look at the Cavs in the mid-'90s. Sean Kemp was good enough to get the Cavs to 42 to 44 wins every year, but they would never get past the 7th or 8th seed. Carmelo's a good player, but he's more of a compliment. He's a great second player. I mean, the team, and the thing is, though, yeah, if they had a dominant center or a dominant point guard, it'd be a different story. But Carmelo likes to dominate the ball. He's not a top 3, top 5 player in the NBA. He's not a LeBron. He likes to think he is, but he's not LeBron James. He's never been Kobe Bryant. And that's the thing with Carmelo. It's just something he never has been, never will be. That could change. I mean, there's a decent chance he'll be a Laker next year and possibly playing next to Kobe Bryant, but we need to see what Kobe has left in the tank. But, the Knicks just don't have it this year. I think they're going to get blown up. I wouldn't worry too much about LeBron going to the Knicks. Like I said, at this point right now, it's Cavs Heat, and I think the Heat are in the lead for him. I think a lot depends to see what happens with the Heat in the playoffs, because if Indiana goes and dominates the playoffs, or even the Bulls, it's another team that Derrick Rose is finally starting to heat up now. Boozer's been having a great year. You have to take a look at a couple of the teams in the East. I think the only teams that can challenge Miami are the Pacers and the Bulls.
Hey, no, just let me back up. What if Carlos Boozer stayed on the Cavs and the Cavs ownership, Gordon Gund, what if he didn't make that boneheaded blunder?
There's a decent chance the Cavaliers would probably have a ring right now.
Yeah.
I would say there's a good chance they would have, maybe 2.
Boozer in his prime with LeBron as he's coming up. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, let me just put it this way. If the 2007 Cavs won 50 games with Sasha Pavlovich on their roster, Jeff McGinn, was Jeff McGinnis a starting? I don't even know. Or Eric Snow was a starting point guard. But with Sasha Pavlovich as your starting 2 guard, and Eric Snow as your starting point guard, that's arguably the worst backcourt in the NBA.
And who else was there? Was that Larry Hughes? Was that Ben Wallace?
Yeah, Larry. Oh yeah, I forgot. But Larry Hughes. I don't think Larry Hughes was starting in the finals that year in 2007. I believe Pavlovich was for some reason.
Whatever the case may be.
But I mean, yeah, if that was, I mean, they had one of the worst backcourts in the NBA, and still, they made the finals. Yeah, they lost in 4, but I mean, the team made the finals the year before. They were in the conference finals, they were in the conference semifinals. Almost beat Detroit, though they lost in 7. And I mean, they were very close. If you look at a lot of those games with San Antonio, were very close games. If they would have had a dominant guy at the 4 instead of Drew Gooden, there's a decent chance they would probably have a championship right now.
Well, the fact is they don't. Let's talk about the Bulls. They had plenty of championships with Michael Jordan, and you just referenced Derrick Rose. And talk about his health, how he's coming back along. You see the Bulls sitting there, pretty solid record, 6-4, not gangbusters. They're not
Derrick
the 10-1.
Rose hasn't even begun yet. That's all I'm going to say about the Bulls. Derrick Rose, wait till he heats up and gets back into shape, because trust me, he will be. That's all I can elaborate on with that one. But
yeah, but he took a whole year off, though. Hold on, he took a whole year off. How long does it take to get in shape if he took a whole year off?
But the thing is, you have to get back in basketball form. I'm talking, he's in shape.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Back to the game is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, no, that's fair. That is fair.
Basketball form. I'm not saying in shape. He's plenty in shape. I'm saying in basketball form, to get up at the speed of the game is tough. To automatically be gone for over a year and then come back and be with the natural speed of the game is not something that's an overnight. It's a process. I'm quoting Pat Shurmur here. It's a process.
Oh no! You brought a Pat Shurmur, Cleveland. It's a process. Oh, come on! I love it. No, so where is Derrick Rose? You said he's just warming up now. Where is he at? Is he 50% of the way back?
I would say Derrick's getting close. He's getting close to being back. I mean,
70%.
Give him another month. He'll be back to his old form. I'd say give him a month and he'll be back to 100.
Okay, so what is 100% Derrick Rose at this stage of his career worth? What are we talking? Points, assists?
MVP. You're looking at an MVP.
Huh.
You're looking at an caliber player. It's the guy who won the MVP 3 years ago.
Okay.
Or 2 years. You're looking at a guy that can win it again. I'm not saying he will because, but he's up on the lines of, he's there in the category of a superstar. This is a guy who was the league's best player a few years ago. He's in there, Granted, I don't think the reason I think the reason LeBron didn't win it that year is because there was so much there was just so much animosity towards LeBron.
Hate for the Heat.
For with the Heat, and I think that's the reason Rose won it. But the Bulls also had a great year. Don't get me wrong, but Rose is a top 5 player in the NBA when he's at 100%.
Okay.
And there's no doubt. in my mind.
Well, okay, let's bounce to another player talking about 100% coming off injury. Let's go to the Houston Rockets. You know, they're sitting there 8-5, right in the thick of things. You know, a couple of games back from the Spurs and the Blazers and OKC. But talk about what you're seeing out of him this year.
The Rockets are one of those teams that just need to gel. They're one of those teams that's close, you know. But like I said, when you add such a significant piece of the roster, it takes time to adapt. And they're taking time to adapt right now. They're going to get better and better, and eventually they're going to trade Omar Sheik because he just doesn't fit with the team, and there's a lot of potential fits. You know, could they go and trade him to Atlanta for Paul Millsap? You know, if you bring in Millsap into that Houston equation, wow, they're going to be good. You know, there's a couple other nice fits for him. You know, I'm not looking at my computer right now, nor do I have any notes in front of me. But you know, there will be available trades for Asik. You know, Ersan Ilyasova is a possibility from Milwaukee. He's another nice fit there. You know, you can even send Asik to Philadelphia, and you know, Thaddeus Young. There's some other fits there too. But you know, Houston, you know, Daryl Morey's never been one shy. You know, he's never been one to shy away from a trade. He always goes for home run or bust. And look what he did over the last 2 years, constructing this roster in Houston. He's done just that.
Well, let me ask you about the Lakers then. They talk about constructing a roster. It's tough to build when your superstar Kobe Bryant, you know, Achilles injury sitting there. The Lakers are sitting at 5.
The Lakers are building on Band-Aids right now. That's exactly what they're doing. They're waiting till the season. They wanted to try to field a semi-competitive team so people wouldn't be lured away, you know, from going to games, and the national media would still be there, so they'd still have the attention. You know, they still have guys like Pau Gasol, you know, and Jordan Hill's played well. But, you know, you're getting inconsistent production. You know, some nights you're getting production out of Nick Young, Xavier Henry, you know, you're getting weird production numbers out of these guys. Some nights these guys, Jody Meeks, you know, some nights you'll see an 0 for 12 night with 2 points, and then there you'll see, you know, 8 for 11 for 25 points. You know, it's just how it is with the Lakers. You're going to get inconsistent play. You know, but like I said, they're playing on patchwork right now. It's just a giant Band-Aid what they have. None of those guys will be there next year, other than maybe Gasol. Okay. And maybe Natch, but who knows what the deal is there so far.
What else is going on in the league then? Let's wrap this up. I want to get a quick take on the Browns and Buckeyes from you. So what else in the NBA? What are some other storylines? Spurs, Blazers.
The Pacers look incredible.
Yeah.
Spurs look really good. I you know, another team that I kind of gave a lot of heat to in the offseason, the Portland Trail Blazers, but they're healthy and they're meshing well. And they look like a really, really good team early in the season. Damian Lillard hasn't even hit his peak yet. That's what's scary about the Blazers. You know, I gave them hell this offseason. I didn't think they were going to be great, you know, losing Hickson. But, you know, obviously, you know, Aldridge is healthy. They're a healthy team now, and they look like a really good team in the West.
Yeah, 10-2. But, you know.
And Minnesota's just getting better by the day, too. You know, Kevin Martin's really been playing well at the 2. You know, he's getting a lot of open threes. I mean, a lot. And he looks like a great player this season. You know, I mean, like I said, he's not going to give you rebounds or assists or you know, a really defensive-minded presence, but he's going to give you a significant offensive presence in that lineup. And next to Kevin Love, you know, and you know, he's going to give you a nice piece.
And who? Then let me wrap it up on this. Then who is going to have the top pick, or at least statistically, who's going to have the worst record in the league this year? Is it going to be Utah, Milwaukee?
Oof.
Probably not Brooklyn.
Well, I think it all depends. I think Utah's play strongly depends on the play of Trey Burke. And that's the thing. If great basketball, Utah's not going to be terrible. If Trey Burke comes back and he doesn't play good basketball, you know, then Utah's going to lose 65, 68 games this season without, you know, they do not have a point guard without Trey Burke. So, you know, it all depends how Burke can play this season. And, you know, and same with Gordon Hayward too, but they have a lot of young guys. They don't have a lot of depth, but, you know, they're one of those teams that's young. I think Jabari Parker would be an unbelievable fit on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I think UFC is MMA. I think he was saying the same thing. Is he the Mormon, Jabari Parker?
He is a Mormon.
Yeah, that's what UFC is MMA was saying. He's like, oh, I see him.
He is a Mormon.
I see him going to Utah.
One of his top choices was BYU, actually.
There you go. All right, good call. Good call on that. Let's just pause on the NBA. We'll get back to some of this in a minute. I just want to get your quick hits on what happened to the Browns over. Actually, if you have an opinion on that, you still following the Browns and Buckeyes? You want to give us a couple?
Of course, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, you're our NBA guy, so I just got to be sure you're also our Cleveland guy. So I don't want to put words in your mouth or put you in an uncomfortable spot. I wanted to triple check and make sure. We're talking with NBA scout and lifelong Cleveland sports fan Zak Baris. Follow him on Twitter. He's at ZBaris. That's ZBaris. Check him out on Twitter. My name's Brian Engelman. You're listening to The Unhappy Hour here on thenewamericanmedia.com. We're going to come back and talk Cleveland Browns and Ohio State Buckeyes.
You are listening to The New American Media.